closely related to this is the fact that Paul is now also being accompanied by a number of companions and disciples. We're not told exactly how many are in Paul's entourage, but at least 7 of them are named. I think I should win some award for reading those names so well. But those seven guys are sort of, at least among them are those 7 guys. They're listed. And they're probably listed by name because they are probably official representatives of the churches that Paul planted. Okay, so he's traveling around encouraging all the churches. And he's taken a delegate from each of those churches. And those delegates then are going with him as he visits the other churches. Hearing from somebody who's been on the ground somewhere, an eyewitness, it just hits different. It just hits different. We just gave thanks in the prayers a few minutes ago for the ministry of the Joint Eastern European Project. We have sister congregations in Ukraine and Poland and Russia, okay? And it's, we can pray about it, and I can tell you, I've been to Ukraine, I've visited some of those churches, I could show you pictures and so on, but it's something completely different when one of those pastors comes here to Moscow, Idaho, and stands up in front of you and tells you about it, right? When Pastor Boo-Boo, his name is really Pastor Boo-Boo, the lead pastor in Poland, he's one of the lead pastors, and you wouldn't laugh at him if you saw him because he's like bigger than me and he could beat you up. But when you hear him in his thick Polish accent tell you about the faithful Christians in Poland and Ukraine, it hits different. Doesn't it? When you hear from a pastor whose church was bombed out, it hits different. And when you see his faith in Jesus Christ, the same faith that you have, and he says, you know what's holding us together? Jesus Christ. You know what's causing us to still gather together on Sunday mornings even though we might get bombed? Jesus Christ. And when you hear that, what? You're encouraged. You're encouraged. That is comforting. And so Paul has this entourage of 7 guys from these churches. They're eyewitnesses of these other churches in these cities that have been planted. And they're visiting all the churches saying, yeah, I'm from Berea. And the church has been established there. We believed in Jesus, like you. We were baptized, like you. We're gathering together every Lord's Day, and we're celebrating the Lord's Supper, and we're hearing the word preached, like you. And you say, you too? Yeah. And they're stirring up riots against us too. You too? Yeah, us too. And it's strangely encouraging. Right? It's encouraging. Many of you are new to the church and new to the church community. And many people have said, well, we were in this place and we felt like we were the only ones. There were some people, but we felt really alone. We felt really isolated. People didn't think like you. People didn't think like us. We didn't have a lot of friends and people that understood things like us. And then, so we looked for a church community where we could share those things. Why? Because it's comforting. It's encouraging to be around other saints who know what it's like. It's encouraging to be around other saints that encourage you in the faith. So that's what these 7 guys probably are. And they may also even be delegates that looks like they're going to go with Paul to Jerusalem. And so they would also give those missionary reports in Jerusalem, but they were also probably bringing offerings to Jerusalem. Later on in Acts 24, Paul says, I was coming here to bring an offering. He had probably collected it from those churches, and those are probably designated deacons that were bringing the offerings to Jerusalem. So this is part of the comfort of Christ and his Holy Spirit. God confirms his truth and peace by adding to our numbers, by granting us companions, by granting us friends, fellow disciples in the churches.